Dodgers spoil another gem by Yoshinobu Yamamoto. The offense can't figure out Justin Verlander and the Giants. And Tanner Scott has another nightmare appearance. That's going up next on the Dodgers Nation postgame show.
Oh, Mookie Betts with his 15th
Mookie Magic! This Dodgers team is built to win back-to-back World Series.
One-of-a-kind player! One-of-a-kind season! Freeman hits the ball to right field. She is gone!
There's nothing that brings us together quite like Dodger baseball. What is up, Dodgers Nation, and welcome to the Dodgers Nation postgame show. My name is Doug McKain. I cover the Dodgers for Dodgers Nation. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. Thanks for rocking with us after the Dodgers lose to the San Francisco Giants. They get walked off in the 10th inning after Tanner Scott gave up a grand slam to Patrick Bailey on a pitch up in the zone. The Dodgers, they lose by a final score of 5-1. The Padres lost tonight at home to the Rockies, so the Dodgers couldn't capitalize, so they're still up a game and a half. In the division, you got an extra game because the tiebreaker, blah, blah, blah. The real takeaway here is that the Phillies keep winning. Walker Buehler gave the Phillies a solid start today, and the Phillies, they were able to get the win. The Phillies beat the Royals 8-2, and it's looking more and more like the Dodgers because they can't take care of business. They can't get any consistency against good teams with their offense. Well, it looks like you're going to be looking at a wild card round series, and you're going to most likely be even playing this same Giants team. Who knows how things could play out. Right now, the Giants, they are making it very tight. There's a half game back of the Mets. So check this out. If the Mets lose tomorrow, the Giants win tomorrow, we could be looking at it. Hey, if the season ended today, it'd be the Giants going to Dodger Stadium with nothing to lose to try to knock off their rival. The Dodgers making life harder for themselves when this did not have to be the case. Lots to get into in this one. Welcome to the Dodgers Nation, Dodgers Dugout live post-game show. So much to get into. But before we do, today's episode is brought to you by our friends over at Prize Picks. Prize Picks is great. I mean, just having so much fun with this thing. This episode is brought to you by our friends over at Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Football is back, and I've been playing a lot of Prize Picks. You can use Dodger baseball as well. You got a lot of great players to pick from, but I got Jaden Daniels this weekend, more than 220.5 passing yards. Josh Jacobs, 73.5 rushing yards. Deebo Samuel, 46.5 receiving yards. Now, I've been playing Prize Picks lately, and I have no idea why I waited so long. It is so simple to play. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections, and if you get your picks right, you could cash in. Also, don't miss out on this week's mass discount, which has Travis Kelce at more or less 0.5 yards when the Chiefs play the Eagles this weekend. Download the app today and use code NATION, NATION, to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code NATION to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. The link to download is below in our description. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Hopefully you have the over on the Dodgers offense tonight. And then we're going to start right there. File in. I'm going to spend a lot of time reading your comments. I know there's a lot of frustration. We'll talk Tanner Scott. I think I might have to ban Bilal K. I don't know. But we got, he's pretty close. Definitely not getting a comment read for a minute, that's for sure. David Brett, how long, how much runway does Scott get? What do we do? Yuck. Should we start at the end and work backwards? You know, let's start at the beginning, okay? So, because the first thing I want to mention and talk about in this one is how they scored early in this game. I mean, you get a run early if you're the Giants from Willy Adames on a double to center, After Yamamoto opened the game up, he struck out Ramos, four-seam fastball up in the zone was working. Then he walked Devers with one out, got up in the count, and on the 8th pitch of the at-bat, he ends up walking him. And then Willy Adames on the 1-0, he cranks one to center. Andy Pages can't field it cleanly. It looked like Devers was going to hold up at third base. Instead, Devers, he ends up scoring on the fielding error. That gives the Giants an early 1-0 lead. And I look at where this team is, and I look at Andy Pages, and there was just some critical mistakes from Andy Pages in this one. I mean, he made the fantastic throw late to keep the Dodgers in this one. We'll mention that. I mean, it was a fantastic throw. Yes, you don't run on Andy Pages when he threw out McKain at the bottom of the 9th inning to extend this game, but there was the error early on, bobbling it, and then there was the play later where he's just not running through the bag. I mean, you got to run through the bag if you're Andy Pages. For some reason, he's stutter stepping. He isn't running things out. They had a really nice opportunity there in the top of the 4th inning after Freddie Freeman singled to right. Muncy drew a one-out walk, a walk to give the runners on first and second. No outs. Teo popped to third. Conforto ground to first. We had 2 outs, runners on first and second. Pages grounds to third. It's a bang-bang play at first, a bang-bang play where it looked like he was safe for a second, then upon further review, he was out. But why isn't he running through the bag there? Why is he stutter-stepping to the bag there? That makes absolutely no sense. And I'm getting a little sick and tired of watching the presentation and inconsistency when it comes to Andy Pages. There'll be homers here and there. There'll be throwouts like the one we saw in the bottom of the 9th inning. But it's the little plays, the base running blunders that just don't look like Dodger baseball to me. And it blows my mind. It really does. I mean, this is a guy who is not a rookie anymore. Hasn't been a rookie for a long time, right? He made his debut last season. He's almost completing his 2nd year in the show. And on top of that, too, look, the configuration, yes, Mile Conforto did hit the home run. But Andy Pages in that cavernous center field, look, Tommy Edman makes that play. And look, we're just a couple weeks left until the end of the season. And if you're going to go with your best outfield configuration, especially in a ballpark where runs come at a premium, it kind of makes you wonder. Hey, when are we going to see the permanent change in the outfield? Yes, Mile Conforto bought himself some more at-bats. We'll talk about him in a second here. But I think Pages, he absolutely needs to be moved to a corner outfield spot. And he needs to just be making sure that all these little tiny details are ironed out. Let's go to some more comments here. What are your thoughts? We got Bilal K. Oh, I was just messing with Bilal K. 1 run. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like this could be a short show where you just say you're not going to win many games where you score 1 run, but there was a lot to it, and there's a reason why they scored just 1 run. But yeah, you're absolutely right, Bilal K. I mean, you look at where this team sits right now. I mean, there's a team that just beat up on that AAA 4A Rockies team. You're hoping you get your confidence up. You had scored a ton of runs, gotten guys going, but the offense is just non-existent. It's just an inexcusable level of production for an offense that has this much talent. It's just the truth. These guys are better than that. You should not be this inconsistent at the plate. You need to find a way to produce more runs. I mean, there's just no doubt about it. I mean, Yamamoto was fantastic again, but he's one of the pitchers that we've seen throughout history, right? From Sandy Koufax to Kirsch to Yamamoto. If you're the ace of the staff for whatever reason, you just don't get run support heading into the start. Yamamoto right there towards the bottom when it comes to getting run support from his team. And there's very little margin for error when he's out there. And he knows that. He has to pitch perfectly. Basically, if I'm Yamamoto, I'm thinking to myself, hey, do I have to pitch a no-hitter just to get a win? Because you look at Yamamoto heading into the start, he was getting 3.42 runs scored per 9. That was the third lowest behind Framber Valdez and Michael Wacha in the sport. And that number will go even lower tonight. And you just can't waste these performances. And before you say, hey, poor Yamamoto, look, he's not poor. He's the first thing from poor. He signed a $326 million deal. But the Dodgers offense, they left 9 men on base. They went 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position. You had some costly errors in this one. 2 errors by the Dodgers. The Padres one in the first inning, the Mookie one in the 9th inning that almost proved costly. I mean, this is a playoff game, a postseason game. And for whatever reason, this offense just cannot get it going and be a little more consistent and string rallies together. Tonight, the Dodgers, they had 4 hits in this game. 4 hits. And yes, give Justin Verlander credit, but my man's like 85 years old. And yes, nice job using that curveball tonight. He had his way with his Dodgers offense, but just this is a team that should have scored more runs and should have got more hits off of him. Like, there's just no doubt about it. I mean, if you look at the hits in this game for the Dodgers, Freeman single to right in the 4th inning. You've got the Muncy single with 2 outs in the 6th inning. And he's at first. Teoscar Hernandez, some of the old habits this year resurfaced in this one after a couple really solid games, 3 home runs in 2 games, looking like he was turning the corner. What do we see in that at-bat with Muncy at first? Expanding the zone, swinging at pitches off the plate. Those are the bad habits that have led to him having an average to a below-average year based on his standards. And really the only real big hit in this one was Michael Conforto, tying things up there in the 7th inning with a solo shot off of Justin Verlander that gave this team some life. But then in that same inning, after Ben Rortvedt was able to get a 2-out double, they intentionally walk Shohei Ohtani. And then with a runner on first and second, Mookie Betts' very first pitch, he flies out to right. So not great at-bats from this team. You want to see them take more pitches. You want to see them work counts. You want to see them not swing at stuff off the plate. And then later in this one, after this miraculous inning for the Dodgers in the bottom of the 9th, where they somehow saved the day, where Jack Dreyer out there, you had Matos hitting for Gilbert, and then he was safe at first after the throwing error by Mookie Betts. Couple quick thoughts on that. During the broadcast, you had everyone saying, oh, Mookie Betts leads all of Major League Baseball shortstops for defensive run saves with 16. Yes, all that is true. The one thing that has always concerned me this year, though, we've seen Mookie Betts play regular season shortstop. Mookie Betts has proven to be a really good regular season shortstop. It's going to be his first time playing postseason shortstop. And an error like that could cost you the series, could end your season. I think that he's capable of it. He made some fantastic plays in this one. That leaping grab that saved Yamamoto from giving up another base hit. So, look, he definitely had some highlight plays, but in the back of your mind, it's definitely a little bit of a concern if we're being quite honest. So after that, Dreyer struck out Ramos, then Devers singled to right, and then Blake Trinan comes in. They intentionally walked Adames, and then Flores on the second pitch, he flied out to center for the second out, and you got a double play because Pages threw out McKain at the plate. So you found a way to extend the game and get into the 10th inning, and what happened in the 10th inning? Of course, you knew they were going to intentionally walk Shohei. And then Mookie Betts, another not great at-bat. Second pitch of the at-bat, he flied into a double play. He flied to right, and they threw out Rortvedt, thrown out at third. It's another thing I want to say, too. I'm all for Ben Rortvedt, right? The Rottweiler, right? He's this year's Brent Honeywell, as I've dubbed him. But let's be honest here. If Will Smith is good enough to come off the bench in a pinch hit situation, this is a postseason game. Like, if this was game 1 of the wild card series, would Will Smith be playing? If the answer is yes, then why is he playing this game? Because I think Will Smith gets to third on that play potentially. And yes, Rortvedt was able to get a double, and he handled Yamamoto very well. But still, like, it's go time. And I appreciate that the Dodgers have kept this team intact all season, and you've kind of load managed Will Smith, and it's helped him stay productive and avoid injuries this year. But man, I mean, these games are important. Like, we can say goodbye to the second seed at this point because you have to basically hope that you're perfect and the Phillies collapse. And you're starting to run out of time. You really are. And then that brings us to the bottom of the 10th inning. Even though, here's the thing, even though that error didn't end the game for the Dodgers and didn't come back to be the reason why the Giants scored that game-winning run after that throwing error, where it's a routine play. It's a routine play that Mookie Betts is trying to make in that situation. He fields it. Matos is running down the line, and I think Mookie's kind of honoring that speed. It's a tight game in a 1-1 game in the bottom of the ninth on the road against your rival in a pivotal game. Rush the throw. And that's what you always kind of have to worry about, is just those routine plays where Freddie Freeman's going to try to do everything he can to make the dig right there, to try to make the play on it. Can't make the play. So that's something that concerns me, because the truth is that anyone who has the take, oh, Mookie can do it. Yes, sure. But the truth is, you can say that all day, and until we actually see him do it in the postseason, it's going to be something he's going to need to prove. I think he can do it, but that flashed in my mind in this one. Then bottom of the 10th inning, after the Dodgers weren't able to hold serve, didn't get a run, Freeman ended up grounding to short. First pitch, too. First pitch for Freeman. So for some reason, the Dodgers just were not taking pitches tonight. I mean, you needed to get better at-bat quality out of this group against a good pitching staff and a good bullpen. They just weren't doing it. A lot of quick at-bats for the Dodgers in this one. But then bottom of the 10th inning, Blake Trinan out there. He gets Chapman to ground to second. The runner gets to third, and then in comes Tanner Scott. And you got to feel for Tanner Scott. He said after his last blow-up against the Orioles that baseball hates him right now. Well, this one, clearly, him and baseball have not made up. Him and baseball have not made up yet. Because during the at-bat to Lee, with the runner on third, he had the strikeout. On the sixth pitch of the at-bat, it was a 3-2 count. There was a ball that was down and away, and Lee got a piece of it, but it ended up in Rortvet's glove, and the umpire ruled that he didn't catch it cleanly and it hit the ground, so they ran it back, and then on the very next pitch, he missed, and he gets the walk. So it should have been 2 outs with a runner on third. Instead, it was runners on the corners with 1 out, and then they intentionally walked Schmidt, and we already know what happens next. Bailey hit the walk-off grand slam. And look, even in that, what I didn't like about that is, yes, you're going to have some bad luck. It's going to happen, and that play is non-reviewable. I would have liked to see Dave Roberts out there just to kind of slow things down, get an explanation, kick some dirt. I mean, let's go, right? Like, you want to see that. Yes, even if it's non-reviewable, like, go out there and just get some momentum out of that thing and slow the game down and give your team a couple seconds to regroup, because it was a missed call. But I didn't like how it felt like when they missed that call and Lee drew the walk that it was over, right? You got to fight. You got to compete. And when Bailey comes up there, I mean, that second pitch, 96 up with a runner on third that can win the game, like, you got to keep that thing down. Like, you have to keep that thing down. Like the D-Train says, live low and live long. Hey, you leave it high, you can kiss the wind goodbye. That's what happened. And who hits that right there? Like, who hits that home run right there? I mean, who made that play? A dude who was struggling all season. A guy who's one of the very worst hitters this year in Major League Baseball goes up there, and your stuff isn't even good enough to get deep into that. I mean, that's the concerning thing, is it feels like Tanner Scott has this mindset of what can go wrong will go wrong. And it just feels like he's just expecting the worst thing that could happen. And the confidence is just terrible. It's just bad. And I feel for the guy. I really, really do. I really, really feel bad for the guy. I want this dude to have success. But at this point, I think we're officially in the territory where you might have to start having some conversations about whether or not you trust him enough in the postseason. And these are tough situations. And he's not the main reason why they lost. If we're slicing up, if we're cutting up the blame Dodger dog right now, let's do the blame Dodger dog. He's getting like a very small, maybe that little, the tip at the end kind of thing. 3/4 of that thing, 80-90% of that thing is the Dodgers scoring one run. Like, they get the blame. But still, in the post, like, you pay a guy a lot of money because he can do things that other guys can do. That's just how it works in the real world too. Like, the people that get paid the most money get paid that because they have leverage, because they have skills. They do what they do at such a high level that people are willing to pay them that kind of money. And when you pay someone $72 million on a 4-year deal, it's a reliever. Yes, it's not a great situation. It's not a soft landing. It's not low leverage, but we paid you to go out there and throw you some FU fastballs and an FU slider and get us out of that inning, because we say, you know what, we don't usually pay relievers. We don't do that. We get guys off the scrap heap, shop off the dollar menu, reclamation projects, make some trades, develop guys. We don't usually do the big money reliever thing, but for you, we thought you were special. We saw that you had a 1.75 ERA in the last 2 years. We saw what you did to Shohei Ohtani and this Dodgers team last year in the DS. We paid you because when we get in those situations where the offense is having a down night, hey, we got Tanner Scott, one of the best relievers in the game, right? Throw him into that situation. He'll get us out of it, and we'll see the 11th inning. And he doesn't come through in that situation. Tanner Scott has an ERA of 5.01 now. He's given up 11 home runs in 15 1/3 innings. Last 2 years combined, he had given up 6 home runs. Something's not right with Tanner Scott. I think it's psychological. Is he tipping his pitches? Is it mechanical? I mean, who knows exactly what it is, but we're at the point where you start asking yourself, Justin Robleski over Tanner Scott, Andrew Heaney over Tanner Scott, Roki Sasaki, who Dave Roberts did say before the game is going to make another start in OKC because he's dealing with a little calf thing. But Roki Sasaki over Kirby Yates. And think about it. You could totally rebuild this bullpen on the fly. Robleski, Roki, Sheehan's going to go into a hybrid bullpenny role. So that's 3 guys. Shohei has a closer and a clincher. It's already 4 new faces that are coming out of the pen in some capacity. It's something that I think deserves serious consideration at this point. I really, really do. I'm not saying that you totally put on Tanner Scott, but for this year, it's getting pretty late and it's getting pretty dark. And I look no further than the man himself to listen to the things that he's saying. Because who was the last Dodgers pitcher that was saying some stuff that just made you want to say, what? Bro, what? Who was the last guy? It was Noah Syndergaard. Remember when Noah Syndergaard said that he would give up his first child to get his velocity back? I'm starting to get that vibe from Tanner Scott. I mean, last time he said baseball hates him, and then here, give a listen to what he said tonight.
It's starting to kind of feel like right now things are just a little unlucky with the foul tip. It was ultimately a strikeout. I'm not sure if you've seen the video just yet, but how much can that moment just change the situation and at bat everything?
Man, I gave up a bad pitch to.
Just some of the struggles this season, especially the fact that it kind of has been turning around recently.
Yeah, it's terrible. I mean, I'm having the worst year of my life, so it's. I don't know. I got to be better.
Do you still have the confidence that things can turn when you try to kind of look under the hood at the way this stuff's playing, or how do you kind of get out of a run like this?
Just got to move on to the next day and try to win the next game and not really think upon it.
Wake up, babe. The latest concerning Tanner Scott quote just dropped. I'm having the worst year of my life. Listen to the things that he's saying. Does he sound like a guy that is confident enough going into October? It's extremely concerning. And give him credit. Talking to the media, a tough spot. Patrick Bailey is a guy that, look, that's not Barry Bonds up there, right? It's not Jeff Kent there. It's not Matt Williams there, right? That's literally one of the very worst hitters in all of Major League Baseball. Like literally, statistically, one of the very worst hitters in Major League Baseball. He has a 70 weighted runs created plus, a 219 hitter, 5 home runs in 406 plate appearances heading into this one. One of the worst hitters, and he bat flipped on you. Tomahawk that thing. Nope, that's not going to get it done. So, look, there's the whole sunk cost fallacy. That's your guy. You committed him for 4 years, but I'm just letting you know. Like, his teammates have been extremely supportive of him. You guys know how I feel. I want him to do well, and I think he still has a chance to do well. But, man, like, we're getting to the point where I think you have to start at least exploring what a plan B would be. Because where do you use him now? Low leverage situations? Do you use him just against lefties? Like what situation? I mean, he got a lefty. Jung-Hoo Lee struck him out, right? Is he going to be a lefty specialist? Then you got the 3-batter minimum. So there's different things there. But, man, the bottom line is I almost feel like it's like the Wolverine meme with Craig Kimbrell a little bit. I mean, Craig Kimbrell, everyone called it, everyone wanted him gone. And he didn't make the postseason roster because he was on an expiring deal. But he had a 3.75 ERA. With the Dodgers. Tanner Scott is a 5.01. I mean, oh man, it is very, 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 very frustrating because you still see the talent. You really, really do, but it's just the stuff isn't good enough in the zone to get away with mistakes. And today was the latest example. Well, let's hear from Dave Roberts, hear what he had to say about another walk-off loss. 5th time in the last 15 games that you've lost in walk-off fashion. Here's Dave Roberts after the game.
We obviously got to see kind of the replay of just the foul tip and how Ben Rortvedt actually did control that ball, so that would have been the strikeout. When you look at just kind of what Tanner Scott has been dealing with, is it feeling like just things have been a little unlucky for him at the moment, especially with what you've been seeing?
I think so. Obviously we looked at the replay and it didn't hit the ground. So that's a big out. Obviously, Tanner's, that ball I just looked at above the zone, 97, and he hits a homer. So with those two things that happen, it's unfortunate. The result certainly doesn't feel good, doesn't change anything. But, he's going through it right now, and we just got to continue to, try to give him confidence and, when the time's right, run him out there and expect good things to happen and expect it to turn.
Considering this is his first year with the organization and you guys are still learning kind of a lot about him, how are you seeing him just kind of handle this situation right now?
Like a pro. Certainly it doesn't feel good giving up runs in any capacity. He's one of our highest leverage guys, and so a lot of times, when it doesn't go well, the game is in the balance, and there's outside noise, but inside the clubhouse, guys believe in him. I believe in him, and we're going to need him. I mean, that's just the facts. We're going to need him, and but yeah, I think as far as doing his work, ready when called upon, whatever I ask of him, he's been a pro.
What you talked about? Good to get him away from the leverage spot every once in a while, just to sort of reset, at least mentally, for especially how he's throwing the ball recently. Yeah,
I mean, there's something to that. It was the first time that we had Blake do an up-down. He was stewing the inning before, so I didn't want to push him any more than that. Then you've got some righties behind. I felt that, Tanner can handle Lee and then the righties behind him. But it's something, I got to certainly think about.
Considering where things are, the pennant race, the division race, can you afford to keep sending them back out there?
Well, I mean, you also... Yeah, I mean, I think that tonight I showed that, Dryers earned some opportunities to pitch in high leverage. So I felt good about what he did tonight. And again, I talked about the Blake thing. But yeah, I mean, like I said, we're going to need him. All these leverage spots, seems like we're playing a lot of tight ball games. And it seems like whether it's the 6th inning, the 7th inning, or the 10th inning, it just seems like they're all leverage. He had 3 days off, and I felt, it was a time to run him out there.
How much would this opportunity changes. I feel like to lose both these games with gems that Yamamoto's kind of put out there the last couple times.
Yeah, those are missed opportunities. And I think the thing is that, when you look at the bullpen, and certainly gets magnified, but, when you score one run and you're in a tight ball game, then there's just no margin and things get magnified, and that's tough on those guys. And so, when you're playing these close ball games where any flare or any mistake costs you, that's a tough quality of life too. So it's not just those guys in the pen.
What was Verlander?
So much about trying to capitalize on some of the situational opportunities. Kind of how did you feel like some of the at-bats in those spots were tonight?
We had opportunities to get a hit, to drive some runs in. I thought Verlander was using his curveball a lot more than we'd seen. I thought that there was some hard contact, and certainly we had some chances, certainly late to, put up a quicker number. We just couldn't come through. I think so. I expect him to be in there tomorrow. Where he got hit on the forearm, he just felt unsure about throwing the ball across the diamond in a tight ball game. So I thought it was smart to get him out of there and get treated on it, and hopefully be back in there tomorrow. X-rays negative.
In the top of the 10th, what do you expect from it with Ohtani, Muncy, Freddie to go by that quickly?
Yeah, I mean, we couldn't have asked for anyone else to come to bat, and obviously they wanted to go after Mookie instead of facing Shohei, and unfortunately we just couldn't come up with a hit.
When Ben was thrown out, was that more the arm on McKain?
McKain made a great throw. McKain made a great throw. Yeah.
Yeah, so the big thing right there, Dave Roberts said, really was, Jack Dreyer's going to get some more opportunities. That Max Muncy, who did leave the game in the 8th inning, Lucchesi hit him on the wrist. He's going to be in there tomorrow, so that's definitely encouraging. Got some x-rays, so he wasn't impacted by that. I'll be honest, I'm still irritated by the fact that Dave Roberts doesn't come out there and challenge Miller on that. Yes, it's not going to get changed, but look, it shows Tanner Scott some confidence as far as, hey, man, I got your back. You got that strikeout. Go up to Tanner Scott. Hey, you just struck him out, baby. You got him. You just get this next guy out. That was a BS call, man. The stuff's looking good tonight. But no, you got to go out there and really just show the bullpen really what this is all about. And I do think that, hey, we are going to see a big shakeup. We really are. We're gonna see a big shakeup. We got if these guys can't perform, for sure. We got Delirium. Doug's profanity-laced tirade is being censored by YouTube. Fire D-Mac, no sound. What up, my man, Richard Flores? Appreciate you, my guy. We've got, let's see, some more. Who else is getting blocked? We got the Astros guy blocked. I feel like Dikembe Mutombo tonight. Here we go. There goes Dikembe Mutombo. Michael Negretti, on timeout. If you don't like it, you can leave. We don't need you, to be honest. But so we'll be just fine, my man. If you don't like what people are saying in the comments, then fine. The one thing I pride the show on, too, is that people can come out here and say what they want about the Dodgers. So that's kind of what the beat of the show is. MTV Gen X, D-Mac can hear you. Okay, let's go down below. Yeah, Doug McKain. What's up, Beer Sama? Tony Taters is actually remotely producing the show. That's my guy. Maybe John Boy can watch the show and just lip read the whole thing and do a breakdown of the Dodgers Nation postgame show. Feelings over stats. We've got Spencer. D-Mac is as stressed as Dave Roberts for making an obvious decision, or Tanner Scott. Yeah, no, for sure. And what's up, NS? What's up, Craig? Look, the truth of the matter is, at this point, what kind of blows, if you're going to use this kind of little stretch here, we had 7 games against the Giants in 10 days. You got the Phillies coming up. Look, the second seed is it's very, very. It's the slim chance at this point you're going to catch the Phillies and get that bye, right? So you're looking at, like we talked about at the top of the show, playing that wild card round. And in that series, you're going to have good starting pitching for sure, but you also need some high leverage arms as well. And if I'm the Dodgers, I look at this one, I look at the performance of Yoshinobu Yamamoto, how good he was. But on the same token, you know that this is going to come down to being a bullpen decided game at some point for you. And I think man, it'd be a tough call for this Dodgers team to kind of punt on a $72 million man. But I really, truly do believe that they have to start having some hard conversations about who the backup is. But you give some credit. The Mitchell out of half full take is big takeaway from this game is another one is Yoshinobu Yamamoto is the Dodgers game one starter. Like, period, end of story. Because the truth is, at this point, he's pitching so much better than those other guys who are still pitching incredible. But he pitches so well that if you didn't pitch him in a game one, you would learn to regret it if you lose that game and potentially a series. I have to know that I'm going with my best guy, and Yamamania is real. And this Dodgers starting pitching has been elite. There's no doubt about it. They've been fantastic. But Yamamoto's last two starts, 15 2/3 innings, giving up 2 runs on 2 hits, 20 strikeouts to 3 walks. Just absolutely lights out. The Dodgers starters have combined for a 1.31 ERA in their last 6 games. So game 2, we can talk about a Shohei Sheehan pairing. We can talk about a Blake Snell. But hey, I'm not talking about that anymore. It's going to be the wild card round, right? Like, right now it feels like it. And if that changes, great. But the Dodgers kind of played with their food a little bit this season. And it's going to cost them more situations that could cost them back-to-back championships, right? And you hate to see that, but that's what they're looking at. But give Yamamoto his credit. I think right now, is there anyone that would not have Yamamoto as their game one starter? Like, if there was any conversation about that in the last 2 weeks, the conversation is over. He's the guy getting the ball in game one. And with Yamamoto on the mound, you're always going to have a chance. They had a chance to win tonight. And you got to hope the bats can do better than just muster up one freaking run. They're just so much better than doing that. But here's Yamamoto after the game.
Yoshi, when you look at just the outing tonight, you were excellent. Really just that walk and the hit early in the game got to you. How would you just describe kind of settling into this one and how they got to you early?
今日の試合で、フォアボール1つ、ヒット1安打、今日ご自身でどのように評価されますか？
立ち上がり初回は、フォアボールから、ツーシームを、次のバッター投げたんですけど、ちょっと、初回はあまりツーシームうまく決まらず、長打を許してしまったんですけど、そこからは、今日調子自体はすごく良かったのでしっかり、いいコース狙って投げていくことができたので、結果的に、7回、いいピッチングできたと思います。
You know, because I gave up first, only walks, and after that, you know, because my two-seamer was, I did not have a good control on my two-seamer, but after that, as the game went on, you know, because I started getting settled in, and my stuff was pretty sharp.
So there you go. Yamamoto got a super chat. 499 Tanner Scott. Godzilla, you got blocked, by the way. Tanner Scott for minor league right before the end of the season. Guarantee us from David. Me, who cares about our aces when Dave always F's it up? Beer Sama, sheesh. If it were up to me, Yama gets game 1, 2, 3, and 4 starter, reliever, and closer. Alan M. A while ago, Robert said one thing he looks for in his pitchers is conviction. If you don't see it in Tanner Scott or anybody else, don't put them in. Jeremy Buckley, our problem tonight was that we were counting on Conforto to carry us. We've seen how that turns out. Yeah, for sure. He hates this team. Yeah, we just let him down, man. You just let him down. And he's fine. He's someone who's going to go out there and do his job. He's absolutely elite. He's not. Remember when Aubrey Huff, that moron, that idiot, said that Yamamoto's contract was a bust? Man, guy looks like an absolute moron. And he's one of the best pitchers in baseball. He's in his absolute prime. So that contract is aging very, very well. And hope is not a strategy. A wise man once said, Balake, yeah, I did say that. And that's something they're definitely going to do for sure. We got JS. You earned his pay tonight. Absolutely. He's better than I even thought he was going to be. And just talking to people from Japan when he came over, when this elite Yamamania came over, you felt really good about it. But, man, he's just so dominant. And tonight, the strikeouts are there, just the way he can dominate hitters. The way when he establishes that fastball, the splitter becomes unhittable. He's just so great. He just really is. Yamamoto to Sasaki for game 1 for Luis Gonzalez. Brianna Rochelle, D-Mac, what will be the point for Yamamoto to start game one if he will never get any offensive support? Yeah, I mean, you have to hope at some point these guys will come through. Professor Yamamoto, D-Mac, the best Dodgers broadcaster, Vince Gull. Thank you. Appreciate that. Jason Diamond, if you took Roberts out and replaced him with Joe Torre in his prime with the same teams, the Dodgers would have 4 or 5 World Series rings. I mean, that's a pretty hot take for sure. I actually got a chance to interview Joe Torre in Atlanta for the All-Star game, and I talked to him before and after, and one thing he did stress to me, he was really a big fan of Dave Roberts, but one thing he said is he wishes that managers that had talented teams got more credit than they kind of get, right? Because his case is that, hey, like managing a team that's a lot of talent can be harder because the expectations are higher. All those guys are used to being superstars. You have to get guys to buy in. You're really never giving credit for wins. You're only getting blamed for losses. So it's definitely a kind of gift and the curse, right? And a lose-lose thing. But how many people donate $100 to cover Dave's contract? That's from Tony Loke. Me, Con Fordo, I see C-O-N in all caps. By the way, I'm trying to show you guys a lot of love, reading a lot of comments tonight. Let it all out. Is better signing than Scott. Ouch, Fraudman. Okay, come on now. Andrew Friedman delivered this franchise a World Series, multiple World Series. So you're not going to bat 1,000. I mean, this year it hasn't looked great for Friedman's offseason signings, but we'll give the epitaph when it's time, or we'll celebrate it if it works out like we had hoped. But Alana Rizzo talked crap about Yamamoto this year, Jared. I don't know about that. But who knows? I mean, Carl says, D-Mac, Dodgers can't win on the road. Teo is, you got emojis there. You guys are going hard. Not happy tonight, I see. MTV Gen Xer, D-Mac, worst part of this is that down here in San Diego, the morning sports radio chattering heads have ruled us out. They talk as if we are a non-factor. The bloke said that the Giants would sweep. Well, I hope that's not the case. We've got Olivia, Mookie, and Freeman were bad at bats. Yeah, we talked about it today. Multiple opportunities in this one, and a lot of quick at bats and just not enough offense. And sometimes you got to tip your cap. That's not a great hitter's park. It's actually the second worst in baseball. Justin Verlander was on his game tonight, but I do think it's an approach thing. I mean, you just want to see them grind out at bats. They were being a little aggressive early in counts to put the ball in play. I think tonight the recipe would have been just find a way to get to that bullpen, see multiple relievers, and make things happen, sort of kind of how they did. But you get one run, and it's just not enough. $49.99 from Lola. What is up, Lola? Yoshi and a heart emoji. I appreciate that. We'll put that towards the CBT penalty so we can get some other players in the offseason. Now go towards the Kyle Tucker contract, or we'll see. But appreciate that, Lola. Thank you so much. Lola lighting up the chat. Yeah, Lola killing the game with that $49.99. Thank you so much. D-Mac, Griffey. Bang, bang. I love you, man. Look, I'll be honest with you, I've been kind of sick this whole week, guys. Trying to fight through a little bit under the weather. I'm almost better, though. Tomorrow I think I'll be good, but it's been kind of a rough week. But bang, bang. Appreciate you, my man. I love you. D-Mac, do you have a fart coin public address you can share? Oh, come on now. Brianna Rochelle, Roberts is too much of a nice guy. Four Eyes Alana. I don't know how this became a conversation about her. She's awesome, and I've had her on the show a couple times. Alana Rizzo is great. Calvin, never have Trine and Scott pitch when Yoshi starts. Yeah, what's so funny? I was thinking the same thing, Calvin, is, hey, this is some bad deja vu. We don't want history to repeat ourselves. And I was also taking a step deeper, Calvin. Tanner Scott and Blake Trinan. Blake Trinan kind of navigated his way out of that one, but still, it's just you got Blake Trinan, Tanner Scott not taking advantage of a Yoshi gem, and it's against a team with orange and black uniforms. Yeah, it was very similar in this one. But, yeah, Yoshi, we don't even need to see anything else, or say anything else. He's a dominant pitcher. He really is. He is an ace level A1 guy, and he's that guy for this team. So he was just fantastic. Nothing can top his last two performances this season as far as back-to-back goes. But we paid Scott $74, $672. D-Mac, I thought you said the Giant season was finished. SF equals season finished. We'll see. They've been playing really good baseball. Got to give them a lot of credit. Best record since early August, since that dust up with the Rockies. It'll be interesting. Who knows? Who knows how their season will finish? They got a great opportunity. And, if I was wrong, I'll own up to it. But the Giants are getting hot late. The Dodgers, you got Kirsch and you got Glass now for the rest of this series. And then you host them next week. So, hey, either way, something has to happen between these two clubs. Either the Dodgers potentially end their season, or the Dodgers are put in a position where they might have to face them in the wild card round. So something's got to give. Last time I checked, the one time this team faced off in the postseason, it led to a Dodgers win in 2021. And if you guys know anything about the Bobby Thompson shot, they were cheating like dirty dogs that year. It was just, they were the Giants in the 50s were the Astros of their time. Maybe I'll tell you the full story about it tomorrow if you guys would like. But that is one of the I hate how that moment's cherished, the Bobby Thompson, because that Giants team they were like I said, they literally were the Astros of their time. They were cheating, stealing signs for months, and that's why the Dodgers had to play that final game. And I won't get too into it. Actually, maybe I'll spend some time talking about it tomorrow. Beer Summit at this point, D-Mac, we just got to wait till October. No, you can't wait till October, man. If you crash out right now, the Padres could win the division. You don't want to have to go on the road, right? And possibly play the Cubs or a team like that. I mean, who knows what could happen in this one? I mean, who knows what could happen the way that this thing pans out? There's still a decent amount of baseball left to play. I mean, you just can't you got to go out there and treat each of these games as if they're postseason games. And the Dodgers have found themselves in this situation, and you can't rest guys. You can't do anything and hope to catch lightning in a bottle at the end of the season. No, you got 15 games left to play. All 15 games could potentially be meaningful baseball games. We got George D-Mac. Will Yoshi ask Roberts if he can bat to score some runs? That's hilarious. That's a comment of the show. Michael K. Better luck next year, Scott. Hate losing to the Giants. That's a good one, Tony Logue. Yeah, facts. Jose Aguirre, that nobody Patrick Bailey has 2 walk-off against us. It's crazy. Mixit Felix, D-Mac, what up? 199 from David. Ohtani should bat third, and we get more runs. Roki and Miller for Yates and Scott. Mookie bouncing balls all year. We've got Mixit Felix, Lola, Lala, Lola, Ola. Okay, let's do some more. Dr. V, how can we not hit a 42-year-old pitcher with a 92-mile-per-hour fastball? Worst coach team I've seen from Craig. Do some other ones. Come on now. Thanks, Jeffrey. Thanks, Jeremy. We got Michael K. Tanner Scott is killing us. Theodore James says, tough loss, but it's a long season. Hoping Muncy's injury isn't too serious. Yeah, it's only September, right? It's only October. The only positives is a Padres loss, Brianna. I would say the positives are definitely the Padres loss, but I would also say Yamamoto continues to prove that he's going to make it a very easy decision for them to see who gets the ball in the biggest game of the year for them, whenever that is. Jack Dreyer kind of coming through in some big spots. Mike Conforto, if he's looking for a positive, he had a home run. He actually had a 915 OPS against the Giants heading into this one. And then also, I think the positive could be a negative, maybe. Like, if this gets the Dodgers to the point where they really start to say, hey, look, I know we pay this guy $72 million. Maybe helps us next year. But for the time being, there's 15 games left. We still have a division to win. We might have to start considering some alternatives. So sometimes it takes that, for sure. We've got Matthew 499. Who is the ideal opponent round 1 postseason, and who would you not want to face in the wild card? Well, that depends on a lot of factors, really. It depends on if the Dodgers still secure the division. I would say you want to avoid the NL West opponents as much as possible for the simple fact that there's familiarity there. There's just the added intensity of them wanting to knock you off. And I think, too, the Padres and the Giants would be playing with house money if they were, for whatever reason, to match up with the Dodgers in any series, but especially one where you don't have to play a 5 or 7 game series just for the simple fact that the Dodgers' depth wouldn't help them tremendously. You just have to kind of go all in for those couple of games, and there's that. The Cubs going to Wrigley, that would scare me if the Dodgers fall out of a division round and you got to go to Chicago. You don't want to kind of deal with the Cubs, but it's postseason baseball. Like I've talked about this. It is the most unpredictable professional postseason. I've mentioned this on the show a couple times. To match the unpredictability of postseason baseball, if you wanted to make it where the better team based on record won that series 80% of the time, if you compare that to other sports, the NBA would have to be a best of 75 series. If you guys watch the NBA, and I'm a lifelong Lakers fan, like NBA is like basically WWE a lot of times. Like it's like script writers, right? OKC best team, they win the championship, right? The NFL, it would have to be a best of 11 game series. Hockey, you have to be best of 51. So that is how improbable 7-game series have been in the history of Major League Baseball. So the truth is, you get a team hot, and they're pretty tough. I think the Phillies is the team that I don't want to play, though. I don't want to face a hot Walker Buehler at any point or anything like that. And that off, even though they're having some pitching injuries with Bryce Harper, Trey Turner, Kyle Schwarber, that park, those fans, yeah, they're desperate for a title. That's a team that I want to avoid. But the truth is, the Dodgers on their best day, they're better than any team. If the Dodgers play their A game and a other team plays their A game, they're going to win that game. If it's an A versus an A, the Dodgers win every time. It's when the Dodgers play their B game and another team plays their A game that they stand to lose. And tonight was like the Dodgers' A performance from the pitching, but the offense way too inconsistent. Is Muncy seriously hurt? LSU Jones, he's expected to be in there tomorrow. So the answer to that is there was some good news about it. Stop what, Bilal? Okay, give me specific. I'm trying to work with you. We've got Scott sacrificed himself for the Padres. Beersama, we couldn't hit a ball from an artifact. Delirium, all remaining games are against teams that are gunning for a playoff spot. That's the thing, too. It's pretty difficult schedule down the stretch. Kenley Jansen over Tanner Scott any day from Sidney Martinez. Yeah, how did Kenley Jansen do in Game 2 of the World Series in 2017? I mean, how did he do in Game 4 of the 2020 World Series? I mean, I love Kenley as much as the next guy, but yeah, it was the Kenley-Fornia adventure late. Early on this postseason career, he was really, really good, but later there were some ups and downs. He actually had a really good finish in 2021 against the Braves, but yeah, that one's tough. I mean, Jansen tacked like Jansen was Mariano Rivera. I mean, if the Dodgers win Game 2 of the World Series, it wouldn't have mattered if the Astros cheated. They were probably going to win that series because they won in 7. The Astros won in 7 games, and Kenley Jansen at cutter, Marlon Gonzalez. I mean, look at Pierce the next year, hitting one off of him against the Red Sox. So it's not like he was great in the postseason, and we're not even there yet. But I'm just trying to point that out. We've got the point I'm trying to make is that all, save for a very select few of elite relievers, they have good years and bad years. They have moments where they come through and they're incredible, and they have moments where they don't. And I think for this team, they're going to have to get a little creative with the bullpen this year, just like they got creative with the rotation last year. We miss Honeywell. We miss his energy, but if the Dodgers really miss Honeywell, wouldn't he be pitching somewhere? Let's be honest. And I love the turtleneck as much as the next guy. I'm just being the guy I'm starting to feel really good about is Robleski. I think deserves a little more respect. He's pitched a good amount. But man, the stuff plays. We got NS's D-Mac. Did you drop your head or yell at the TV when Scott gave up the granny? Man, that's a good question. It's so, my mom, shout out to my mom. She's the biggest Dodgers fan ever. She called me right when he was coming out of the bullpen, and she said, I wish my cable would go out right now. And I hate that she said that because it's just, come on, man. She's one of you guys, basically. Yeah, I was laughing, but how'd I react? Man, I was a little, I'm pretty stoic in those moments. I'm thinking about the show. Maybe dropped a couple F-bombs. But, I love you guys. We get playoff baseballs all pitching. Tony Logue. Do some more, man. You guys are lighting it up, man. It's late. It's 12 o'clock. My goodness. Game-changing poor umpire calls. Yeah, for sure. Brianna, Milwaukee or Philly is going to be a brutal series. I don't know if the Dodgers will win a series. Wow, even Brianna is not feeling it tonight. D-Mac, can we get Steve Ballmer to help the Dodgers sign Skeens George? Yeah, I mean, have them pay aspiration. Man, Clippers, yikes. Dr. V, just waiting to get to the postseason so we can lose in the first round. Sadly, that's my expectation. Man, vibes low tonight. D-Mac's mom, come on, Felix, bruh, from Jose. I hope Tanner Scott is listening. Bilal K. Mom is very smart from Bilal K. I'll tell her. Same mom, same. LOL. Cut the cable from JS. Jeremy says Tanner Syndergaard. Happy Saturday, everyone. All right, guys. Appreciate you all. I appreciate you all. Appreciate you, Bilal K. Rock with us till late. Sidney Martinez late. I went crazy with the comments because I know you guys needed it. I'll get some rest. Hopefully I'm back to 100% tomorrow. Princess A says, same as D-Mac's mom. Thank you, Princess. I'll let her know. Awesome, guys. Well, take it easy. Tomorrow, they'll have another opportunity to get back in the mix and get back in the win column. But that's going to do it for this episode of Dodgers Dugout Live and the Dodgers Nation postgame show. My name is Doug McKain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMac_LA. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. And if you want to support this show every single day, hit the like button, write a comment down below. And remember that nothing, absolutely nothing brings together quite like Dodger baseball. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
Oh, Mookie Betts with his 15th Mookie Magic!
This Dodgers team is built to win back-to-back World Series.
One-of-a-kind player! One-of-a-kind season! Freeman hits the ball, right field! She is gone!
There's nothing that brings us together quite like Dodger baseball.